So hi everyone, it's me, Kara Hollamore, and with Be Inspired with Kara.com, and also I am doing the do's and don'ts of dating in today's era. So you can always check me out here on YouTube, or you can check me out on my podcast, Love Talk with Kira, or the do's and don'ts of dating in today's era is also on Amazon Kindle as an ebook, or Your Path to Inspiration also has some inspirational messages. So you can check those out as well. So I'm going to be posting different videos and stuff like that up here for dating advice. And I hope you guys can tune in and check it out when you have the time. And it's just fun for me to share, some advice for some people to, utilize while they're dating in relationships, or even when you're married already. That's fine too, or even as friendships. If you're going out with just friends, that's fine too. You can utilize these for that as well. But for the most part, it's specifically for, dating and relationships and stuff like that for today's era. And the reason is for today's era is because it is different in today's era than it used to be. Now, if you have, experienced the things that I've experienced when I was younger, we didn't date. I didn't date. I didn't need to date. If I wanted to go out with you, I went out with you. We were in a relationship, it was what it was. There was, we got to know each other, and then we were in a relationship. And so honestly, when you think about that, a lot of us end up doing that, and there's nothing wrong with that. At the same time, a lot of us end up not with that partner later in life, and we wonder why. And it was like, well, we never really dated anyone else, and we didn't really know what we wanted. We didn't really know what we liked, and really grew apart and didn't know how to handle, one another while we were together. So, plus there's a million dating apps out there right now, millions of them. And it's important for people to remember that things are different in today's era. And that's why I'm here to help other people understand and learn how to date when they are on a date, or, they've never been away from their other partner. It could have been 20, 30 years, or 15 or however many years. They haven't dated anyone before. And now they're out in the world and they're like, oh my gosh, this is not like what it used to be. A lot of things have changed. So, and a lot of people have less attention span. So, you want to make sure that you're attracting the right type of person towards you as well. And if you don't, then there's ways to handle that and to be able to move forward, because sometimes that can come back at you and cause a little bit of pain, within yourself, as far as you wish that, it didn't happen that way, but it did. So it's okay. Don't stress. Things get easier and better, and don't ever forget that, okay? Always remember that. I always say, though, communication is key to being happy. So you're going to hear me use that term throughout my, my YouTube channel, my podcast, my books, everything, my website, beinspiredwithkara.com. I'm also an inspirational author, and I am an inspirational speaker, motivational speaker as well. And I just want to make sure that you're understanding that communication is the foundation for your partnership, okay? And trust and respect and appreciation and value and all that. So take the time to remember that and those key points. And right now we're going to go over another bullet, the do's and don'ts of dating in today's era, okay? And also remember, if you do like my channel, you can like it, or you can share it, or you can just listen in. It doesn't matter, whatever works best for you, okay? That's what I want you to do. I'm not the type of person to force anybody to think a certain way. I do give out advice, and if you don't want to take it, then that's okay. I'm not offended. I'm here to help people that want to listen, and if you do, then that's fantastic. And these are going to be quick tips that are easy to use, and you're going to have immediate results with them, okay? So don't forget about that. That's important. That's a key point also. You do get immediate results if you use these tips. So the bullet that we're going to be using today, the do's and don'ts of dating today's era, is don't go out on a date and constantly look at everything else in the restaurant or wherever it is that you're visiting, okay? Okay, do make sure you maintain a great amount of eye contact with your date, showing them that you're engaged and actually listening to them. Okay, so that's important. So let's discuss this. Now, I explained prior in another bullet that we shared the other day, and I was discussing the fact that when I do these, I'm gonna say the do's and the don'ts. Don't do this and do this, and then we're gonna go a little bit deeper into the conversation. Okay, so if you haven't listened to a prior do's and don'ts of dating in today's era session, then I'm gonna continue explaining this as we go forward. So if you hear me saying it over and over and over again, then you understand why. Not everyone listens to every single session in a row. They don't have time for that, so I'm going to go ahead and explain it over and over so you guys understand where I'm coming from. All right, so let's discuss this. Don't go out on a date and constantly look at other things and around the area, okay? Do maintain that eye contact and being present in the moment with your partner, okay? That's important. You're showing them that you're engaged and actually listening to them, okay? So there's nothing worse than going out on a date and your partner's over here like, oh my God, oh, did you see that guy? Or did you see that girl? Woo, or wow, she was hot. Have you ever had a date say that to you? I hope not, but you know what? I know there's people that have had that happen, and it's a shame and it's disrespectful. At the same time, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? No matter, like if you're just meeting somebody and you're on that date and you're like not really into them just yet, but at least have some respect and make sure that you're keeping that eye contact with them and being engaged in the conversation, because there's a reason you're on the date in the first place, okay? There was something that got you there. So take that time to really check out and be engaged in the conversation. Don't look around everywhere else and think that everything else is better at the moment, or you may have ADD. I don't know. There may be attention deficit disorder that you might actually have that causes you to start looking around and stuff like that. Well, if that's how you are, then that's important to discuss even before you go out on a date, okay, with your partner, and say, or if you are on your date, you can discuss it face to face then and just say, I have a short attention span, and so if I start looking off, you can get my attention back by doing this, okay? And then tell them what it is that works for you. That's important, okay? That way you're sharing your little quirks and stuff like that with your partner, and they don't come back at you and become upset and hurt maybe, or angry even. Who knows? Some people have different triggers that when you show certain emotions and stuff like that, and in a situation, like, they don't take it very well. So you're trying to get to know someone and you want to be engaged in the conversation and have that eye contact with them. Very, very important. And don't be disrespectful. And sometimes people are disrespectful on accident. Okay, and take that into consideration also. It's not always what the person's intending to do, and sometimes they don't realize that they're doing it. And sometimes it's just a normal habit, but you have to think about that as well, because why is this a normal habit of theirs? So since you're finding out that it is a normal habit, if it is indeed, then you need to take, as a partner, need to consider if this is the type of person that you want to be with, or are you going to be okay with that type of behavior all the time? Is your partner going to allow themselves to work on that as a personal growth and development for themselves, to evolve within themselves, to, not do that as much? It's not saying they're a bad person. It's just saying they're evolving as a human being, and they're taking that pride within themselves to work on themselves so that they don't do that to everyone and whoever it is that they come across, okay? So, okay, I hope that made sense to everyone, and I'm going to reiterate it one more time. So don't go out on a date and constantly look at everything else in the restaurant or wherever it is that you are. Do make sure you maintain that eye contact with your date, showing them that you're engaged and actually listening to them, okay? Very, very important. Very important. Communication is key to being happy, okay? I said that before, right? Don't forget that. This is all part of communicating, okay? There's different forms of communication. And eye contact is definitely one of them, okay? Body language is another. And, your verbal language is another. How you're dressed is another. So you want to make sure that you're showing the best version of yourself when you're out all the time. And we're always evolving and improving within ourselves as well. So remember that maybe this first time you were out, that was the best that you were at that point. And now the next time you go out, you're even better. You added this. Oh, I like this better. That's part of me better. And then you're better the next time even. And you just keep evolving into this fantastic, even more phenomenal person than you always were. And your communication, just gets better and better. And then you're able to, utilize that with whoever it is that you're on a date with. Or if you're already in a relationship with them, then you're able to utilize it there. Okay, this goes for dating, relationships, marriages, all of that. It works for all of you, for everyone in those scenarios. So just remember, nobody's perfect, and we're all working towards being our best selves and creating the happiness so we can share that with our partners, okay, and everyone around us. So regardless of if it's just friendships too, okay, this works for friendships too. You don't want to go out with your friends and be like not even paying attention to what they're saying, and all of a sudden, you're over here and they just had a whole conversation with you and you didn't hear a thing they said. And then they're like, did you hear anything I said? Oh, and then you ask them a question and they respond to something completely different. And I know that's not okay to do either. I've seen families do this. I've seen husbands and wives do this to each other. They're completely in a different space in their head at that moment. Remember, men, that women are always thinking in that moment. So their reaction to whatever is taking place is in that moment. It may not necessarily be a reaction of something that, that's going to be a long-term reaction. It's just for that moment, they reacted the way that they did towards whatever it was that you said or the situation at hand. So take that into consideration as well, okay? That's important when you're communicating. So know that they may change their mind. They may be like over it an hour later and be like, oh, okay, who cares? That was, and then if you bring it back up to them later, they're going to be like, that was freaking an hour ago. Who cares? Why are you worried about that now? Like, that was over. So, and women, if you are holding on to something, then you need to let it go. You need to stop holding on to it and allow it to go away. If you need to talk about something, you need to set a time where you can come back to it and talk about it. But don't throw things back in your partner's faces, okay? This is all about loving each other and learning how to communicate so this type of thing doesn't happen. It's not saying that you're never going to get in an argument or you're never going to agree on everything, that you're going to disagree on everything. You're not. You're going to have an easier time the more that you work with one another as far as communicating and how each of you wants to communicate with one another, what works best for one another, because that's different also. Not everyone communicates nor wants to communicate in the same way that you do. Okay? Let's put social media out there, right? Okay, I have, I'm on so many different social medias now. I'm getting my word out so that I can spread it to everyone around the world if I can. So that's what I'm working on. So everyone around the world can get some type of advice and utilize it, because they are quick tips that are easy to follow, and they're giving you immediate results. Okay, so the thing of it is that if you're with a partner that doesn't want to evolve at all, or not interested in anything else besides just their daily life, and not interested in you, tips don't work for people that don't want to work. Okay, they don't work for people that are refusing to think they need anything. That's key also, okay? So I would, maybe get some counseling done within the relationship at that point, okay? I think that's important to remember as well. There are ways to inspire your partner to move forward and evolve in the relationship if it becomes stagnant and stuff like that. But that's for another topic, okay? That's not for today's topic. But I would definitely look into some counseling for that if that's the issue for you, okay? And don't feel bad about it either. Don't ever feel bad for wanting to get help with somebody else. I've gotten help from different people. I've taken millions of courses now, and now I'm teaching it. So I've been through a lot of different situations myself. So some that are very shocking to people. So just letting you know. I may have been there and done that before, and you're gonna be like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I never would have thought that. But honestly, you never know. You never know someone's story. So I always say, don't assume either, okay? That's key also. All right, you guys, so let's get back to the topic of don't go out on a date and constantly look at everything else in the restaurant or wherever it is that you are at. Make sure you do maintain that eye contact with your date, showing them that you're engaged and actually listening to them, okay? And that's very important. So you're actually showing respect, and you're showing your presence. You're showing that you're interested. You're on point. You are like, I'm here with you, okay? You're focused. Don't lose that focus and start having your eyes wander off, okay? You're trying to get to know this person for potential partnership or, potential marriage or, what have you, or your friendship, okay? To maintain a friendship. Whatever it is that your goal is with this particular relationship that you end up engaging in, okay? Just make sure that you are open-minded and you're wanting to be able to communicate. And like I said, communication is key to being happy, okay? So don't forget that. All right, so that's it for today. And I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do creating all of these for you and giving out this advice because it's super fun. Like I said, I'm here to help support everyone and, just becoming happy. Because that's what life is about. And I learned all of this myself, and then I came up with different, scenarios on my own as far as I was going out dating myself and learning how to date, because I never dated. Like I said, I didn't have to date. If I wanted to go out with you, we went out and we ended up in a relationship. It was pretty much immediately. For the most part, dating is important, and you want to make sure that you're taking your time. And sometimes you can move. Some people are more ready than others, and there are reasons for that too. So take that into consideration. If you are dating and you just started out dating, you're probably not ready to be in another relationship immediately. And some people are, but for the most part, that doesn't work. Like the first person you end up dating usually isn't the one that you're going to end up with in that long-term relationship. Now, there are some that do, and I know some that have, and so I'm going to point that out as well. So I'm not saying for everyone, like I said, but for most everyone is what I'm going to say. Because those are very rare, and I'll explain that. And there's different reasons why, theirs worked. So that's another whole story too. So like I said, each person is different. Each scenario is different. These are guidelines, and they are going to have immediate, results, good results. So take them into consideration, share them with your friends, practice them. Take some time out for yourself to really think about what it is that you want in life and what makes you happy, and then utilize these bullets to help you start dating or utilize them in your relationships or marriage. Okay, very important. Like I said, this is just about being happy, and dating in today's era is different than it used to be. So you know, if you had a bad experience and you need to come home and cry, then do it. Come home and cry, and then, you know, you can get back up and pick yourself back up and start again. You know, I've done that before. I've done that. When I first started dating, I totally did that. I've come home and something didn't work out and I just cried and I thought, oh my God, you know, like what, what just happened here? And I'm not kidding. And I was like, okay, I'm the type of person though that I move forward. Like I will cry about it and then I'm like, okay, see ya. And I'm gone and I'll move forward. But that's how I work. I have learned that, like I am specifically looking for somebody, you know, that's really real with a lot of substance and very strong-minded and willed and very honest and trustworthy. So a lot and wise, you know, a lot of, I have a lot of different things that, you know, I want, and they're mainly, you know, your standard, your standard wants and needs in a relationship is what I say. But like jealousy, I you know, I don't like extreme jealousy. You know, I know some people are jealous sometimes, but I do not like extreme jealousy. I've been through that before, and it was not fun in any way, shape, or form, and it was like suffocating. It was like suffocating the life out of me. Because they were like, oh, like I couldn't even walk up and say hello to a friend that was a guy because they thought I was going to, you know, be with them, or why are you talking to them, you know, stuff like that. Or you couldn't give someone a hug. That's, you know, I know a lot of people and they're all my friends and I love them and my mentors and everybody. And I love hugging people and I think it's great and I'm always here to help people. So I have to make sure that I'm with someone that can handle that. And not be jealous like that, because that's a control issue for them. And it's not a good person to be with. You want to make sure that, you know, if they're controlling like that and they have their own issue about jealousy, that they really need to do some self-reflecting and get some help. Okay. Jealousy is bad. You know, a tiny bit of jealousy I can understand, but for the most part, it doesn't help you move forward in the relationship. So if you're feeling jealous, you've got to admit that to your partner and solve that situation, you know, right away, really. I think that's important. Don't let that continue to fester. All right. So one last time, we'll say that don't go out on a date constantly looking at everything else in a restaurant in the area that you're visiting. That goes as well as like people, like I said, that can cause someone to feel jealous and be like, why are you, you know, doing this? But it's really them. It's not you. Okay. Do make sure you maintain a great amount of eye contact with your date, showing them that you are engaged and actually listening to them. Okay. That's very important. So communication is key to being happy, everyone. So let's continue to communicate on a deeper level and evolve with one another, okay? While dating, in relationships, or marriage in today's era. All right. So if you do like this and what I'm saying, you know, you can share it with other people, or you can subscribe to my channel, or you can also go on to beinspiredwithkira.com or check out my ebooks on Amazon Kindle. Okay, so that's it for today, and I hope you guys are all having a super fabulous day or night or morning, depending on what country you're listening in, and I will talk to you soon. Okay.